Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Football United TV. Thank you so much for tuning in today for this week's Football Politics show. I'm joined again from Man United Agenda's Mr. B. How you doing?
Evening.
And FTB Sports' Jemma. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Good. It's typical Monday, right, guys? What you making of today? Like, just a standard Monday for you lot?
Maybe not quite too standard, but yeah, I've had a good weekend.
Yeah,
I was a bit like a hangover today. It's like we had we dominated Leeds like no other team has so far in the Premier League yet, but we lost our youngster, Harvey.
Yeah, shouts out to Harvey.
Sounds better than what it was at first, though. It sounds like it was just a dislocated ankle at first before it was a break. But bless him, he's got such a good attitude. I'm sure he'll be back soon.
Yeah, he will. And I saw that in the hospital as well, where he gave that lad his shirt. He broke his arm. Yeah, that's
yeah. And his shoe is one good foot. Must have had the shoe still on. Give him his shoe.
I think I see it. I think I see it up on eBay already.
I wouldn't blame them. I might do the same thing. I need a holiday.
So today we're talking about grassroots football, why it's so important that we, nurture and cherish our lower leagues and the clubs. And of course, Mr. B is going to tell us a little bit about his club, because you didn't tell us actually that you're a manager of this club.
Yeah, I am. Yeah. I got promoted to first team coach this season through a few other issues, but yeah. So I'll take the applause, but just keep it quiet, man.
Yes, Mr. B.
Yes, well done, mate. Top manager, mate. Hopefully getting you Man United after Ole. Yeah, is that what we're doing?
Oh, absolutely not. I don't want that pressure. I don't want that pressure. Yeah, I watch him on TV.
So tell us, Mr. B, a little bit about your local club and how it got started and what's going on there as well. And especially through the epidemic as well. It's been so tough, I know, for a lot of lower league teams, just trying to get through with fixtures and getting fans down there, etc., etc. What's it been like for you in your experiences?
The club has been going for 70 years. It was doing a partnership with a secondary school, Preston Manor. That sort of drifted off after a while. I've been there about 25 years. I've done the chairman. I've done the first team in the beginning. I'm back now to the first team. I've done the second. So I've been around the woodwork for a little while. It's always been fun, although some Saturdays are a lot worse than others, obviously. But now, I think this season, well, the last couple of seasons, obviously, COVID, I was probably ignorant to the effects that it probably would have had on the club in regards to thinking that players would just want to come back. Right now, there seems to be, we've dropped down to 3 teams now, which is something that when it started, we had 6. And a vets team. So whether it's a generational thing or the fact that kids just don't want to play football, or even adults, it's not even kids, because ours would be from 18 really. We don't have the influx of players. We're the only Saturday team in Wembley, and we're in the Wembley area, and we're still struggling to get players. So I think this year there needs to be maybe a recruitment drive from me. I'm just talking about my club in particular. Maybe there needs to be some sort of recruitment drive. I don't know how that can happen. Obviously, that's why I'm here on with you guys here talking today. Maybe get a couple of ideas.
Schools and colleges. Targeting schools and colleges.
I mean, that may be something that we will have to do. Hopefully, there'll be a couple of other people who might make a couple of suggestions as well. But right now, it's really, really hard. Finance-wise, we're a small little unit. We've got a nice little clubhouse with our cricket pitch on one side. So they have it the summer, we have it the winter.
Yeah.
And right now, I think it's really, really going to be a struggle to get, one, the finances in. Don't get me wrong, we don't do it for profit. So we always want to just break even, make sure we've got enough money to pay for the pitches, make sure we've got enough money to do what we need to do to keep everyone. End of the season comes if there's a little bit extra, which is not really, it's a couple £100 maybe sitting down in the bank account for the start of the season. So it's never a thing where we ain't got nothing to do with the money. We make money. What we're going to do with it? Sit down in the bank. So we charge them the minimum that we can afford to let them charge. And it works. It works. So at the moment, it's a real struggle. But Jems, as a parent, obviously you've got 3 young boys. What is the situation that you find in regards to, one, finding a club? Bristol? Live in Bristol, the Bristol area?
Yeah, in Bristol. I mean, for me as well, I don't drive. So that's always the top of my thoughts is when there's away matches, where is it going to be? Am I going to be able to get them there? I mean, their dad takes a lot of that on, but also because I work, the days they have training, they have to be able to get there on their own. I can't be taking them there. I mean, they're 13 and 12. They're doing football now. My 16-year-old, he was playing for a team and he just said it wasn't for him anymore. I think it was like the tournaments and stuff just wasn't his thing. So he started doing a 5-a-side down by his local school, and he seemed to enjoy that. As for the finding the team, that part of it is what's hard. It's finding a team where you've got a good coach. I've had experiences in the past where they've been at a team and the coach's son has always started every game. He never gets subbed off, despite the fact that he's not, I don't want to say rubbish, but he's not up to the level of the other players. There's better players in the team, and he's playing his son as striker when he's clearly not a striker. You can see that, and he gets picked above everybody else. So we chose to leave that club then. It took me a while to find one, but I'm quite lucky in that my second eldest son, he loves football so much. He actually sort it out himself. He gets himself there. He's got that motivation and that energy to do that, which passes on to my other son. And now they go together. It's kind of like a nice thing for them to do. But I can imagine the fact there's been COVID and they've been sat in the house. I'm sure there's a lot of kids that aren't as fit as what they were. I think a lot of kids have got used to being antisocial now. Just sitting in the house. I know for my eldest, his social skills have plummeted. I'm like, you need to come out of your room, man. You need to talk to people and socialize. But I think people underestimate how much effect that can have on young people and their anxiety of being around others. I work in a school as well. And we've the year 7s that have just come in now, you can see that they're really struggling because they missed the whole of year 5, half of year 6. So we've basically got year 4 kids coming into a secondary school now. I think they're quite immature in their social situations, the way they think, the way they come across. Again, it's money. You've got to buy football boots. You've got to buy shin pads. You've got to get them there. It's a lot of effort and energy to go to training, away games, tournaments. It takes a lot of time and effort. So I think not only have you got to target the kids to pressure their parents, like, I really want to go. They need to be a bit independent in getting themselves there. I'm quite lucky that my son can do that, but it's also the parents. They need to want to get involved and get their kids going. I know for some, they enjoy it. They come along with the oranges, don't they? And they're as much part of a team as the coaches. They'll help set up goal nets. If I ever go to a game, I'll help set up the goal and pack away, and I'll help doing all that stuff. I think is about maybe more the parents having the time, the money, the energy to do that as well, more than anything.
Yeah, I agree completely, and I guess that has a knock-on effect, like you're saying, like the fact that you were saying, Mr. B, that it's hard to get players, especially with what's happened in the last couple of years. The confidence in kids like actually wanting to take it that next level is a bit dampened at the moment.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was a question to me. Sorry, yeah, I think obviously because mine is a different level. I'm looking at it as from a Jem's point of view, where she can't find a club, and then my club is looking for players. So there has to be a meeting point where maybe parents can find something. I know that the FA website is there, but it's time consuming to do all of that. So I'm wondering
if don't know about that website.
Right, again, so then it's trying to educate the people. But then, Matt, your club is an adult-based club?
Yeah, it is. They actually have they have under 21s, under 18s, under 15s. So they've got their sort of academy, and they find a lot of players. I know there was a player actually for our club in the youth system that's just been signed by Man City for £500,000. So it is working at the club. Like there is some really good stuff going on. And it's their 100-year anniversary this year as well. So
wow,
shouts out to
wow. So how have you found the recruitment? So I mean, obviously you've got the youth, you've got them in from 15. So if they like it, do they tend to stay the whole way through until they probably finish playing, or do they look to go somewhere else?
They do look to go other places. And also, you were talking about there's got to be a meeting point. So they actually have this meeting point with a local junior sort of. It's not necessarily a football club, like it doesn't have a senior team or anything like that, but it's a connection. They'll play at the club, and then they'll take on people or players, do you know what I mean, if they want to play for them, do you know what I mean? So there's that meeting point there where it's like you can move on to the next level if you want to, do you know what I'm saying? So I think that's a good thing, and I'm glad to see that they're doing it. It's just difficult, I guess, for certain teams with what's been going on as well, if they can afford to do it, etc., etc. Because I know there's loads of grassroots teams out there that can't afford to have under 15s, under 18s, sometimes not even a first team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's difficult just to get that, let alone the rest. But
hopefully, do you think even in the media and stuff, it's not really promoted much, is it? I think a lot of kids like, oh, I'd love to play for these clubs, but you only really know about Premier League clubs and maybe Championship clubs. It's not highlighted very much. There's not many games shown or spoken about necessarily. I think when they think of being a footballer, they don't necessarily think of like the grassroots. They just think about making the big ones, a big star team. They don't realize you can play football regularly for local teams now. And I'm going to start taking my son, because we're in Bristol. We're going to start going to City and Rovers a lot this year, just to get them excited and into it. But what's it like as well? See, with like scouts that come out, do they come out often or regularly enough, even from the lower league, the English lower league teams? And
well, I will say from mine, there ain't no scouts coming to the games that I play and the players that I have. Trust me, it's not.
Hopefully, Mr. B, hopefully that changes now. You're coach, though, right?
Unless I've got a magic wand that can magically find players with 2 feet and players who actually want to stay fit, then I think I'm going to be struggling. I really think I'm going to be struggling. I mean, as I said, my biggest, obviously a lot of what we do is Twitter based. And I know there's a lot of sites out there that do, but I mean, where did you say you're South Mims? Was that Mims, South Mims, Matt?
I got it. Well, they used to be. So they're actually in the Southern Football League Division 1 Central, which is very long. Isn't it? There's probably like, I think, different leagues in the South and different leagues in the North. And then you get to, I think, a level or two up, then it'll be like the whole of the South and the whole of the North. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then
Yeah.
Then you get a whole big division of, like, you know, that conference you can travel up and down the country. Yeah. So
yeah, I think the level that you're doing is a lot higher than mine. Trust me. We take anybody. We don't have a no. I don't laugh, James. I don't read it like that.
I'm sorry. I know.
I think we need.
But you need people. You need teams
right.
like yours.
Right.
You know?
Ours is a club where ability to a certain extent does matter, but it's more the social side of it, I think, more.
Yeah.
You know, I would like to think that after the game, then you still carry on doing you have that whole Saturday vibe. You've got the match of the day, you've got this game. So it takes everything into that sort of Saturday evening. And that's where I think the social side of it, I think, has dropped off as well. And I think that's what doesn't keep people staying. I mean, Jems, as a parent, if you found a team, you said your kids were 12 and 13. If you found a team that they liked, would it be a thing where it would be up to them to stay? What level of football do they want to make it to be professionals? Do they just want to play to have fun? How are they looking at how they use football?
I mean, they're typical boys at the moment. So, you know, when you say what you want to be, you know, career-wise, job-wise, you know, footballer. But again, it's getting that into them, that you don't have to be at that top level. You can be a footballer and you can still be involved in the team. I don't think they've got this realistic view on it. And I do say to them, you know, takes a lot for that. Not only have you got to be really professional, really dedicated every day, every week into it. I always use David Beckham as an example because he used to practice free kicks, apparently, didn't he, for an hour every day, you know. But not only that, it's like we said, the scouting, finding a good team, finding a good manager that's going to have the time to get the best out of you. And you know, you're volunteering your time to do this. You know, it's not like you're getting trained and paid and given tips and tools to help you do this. But the reason I like it for them mostly is gets them out the house, off the computer, keeps them fit. One of my sons, he had heart surgery when he was a baby. He might need heart surgery again, so it keeps him fit and healthy. I like the fact that he's running around. It's just getting that energy out. Sometimes teenage boys particularly get really, one of my sons particularly gets really frustrated and angry sometimes over little situations in school and stuff. And I think it's a good outlet for them to go and run around and play and be a part of a team and learn social skills in a way, isn't it? Learning to lose, learning how to interact with people. And then hopefully if they stay into that, I hope they do. I was hoping my 16-year-old would, but like I said, it just wasn't for him. That's fine. But it's where they make friends and they can keep these friends, hopefully, into, you know, adult life.
Agreed.
I think that's what's important, mental health-wise as well.
Absolutely. It is. Like you said as well, the kids these days, the fact that they're on their computers a lot more, they are stuck inside a lot more, especially with this epidemic as well, really hasn't helped. So it's good for them to get out and do stuff. Let me just read out a few comments because I completely forgot about all you people tuning in. Thank you so much for joining. Please smash the subscribe, share, like, and thank you so much for tuning in. Solo says, my guys, good afternoon panel.
Evening,
Mondi, yes, what a brilliant panel. Big up, guys. Mr. B is everywhere and everywhere and anywhere. Yeah. Big up, Jemma.
Thank you, Solo.
first team coach, Mr. B.
Oh, Armando, shut it.
Amen. 5-1. United gave Leeds the roasting of all roastings. There you go, Jemma. It's hitting back at you. Big up Romeo with his debut goal.
That's my son. He had his first game yesterday, and he won 5-1 and scored a goal. And he's absolutely buzzing over that.
See.
So,
Good.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Well
what
done.
What position?
Striker, I think, or winger. I asked him, and he said he moves around.
I like that.
Does his own thing.
Plays wherever he can, which is
yeah.
Which is, you know what I mean? I'd never go. I don't want to play. If you're going to put me in somewhere, I'm there. I'll probably sneak up front though, even though you know what I mean. Like,
yeah. They want the glory, don't they?
The glory positions, yeah.
It's funny because my other son, he likes being in defense because he hates to lose, so he wants to make sure no one's scoring. Like that's where he wants to be. But we had to stop him being goalkeeper because if someone like scored and it wasn't his fault necessarily, he would get so angry and then he'd cry out of rage and we'd have to take him off. He would be so angry, you know, he'd want to kill whoever let the ball pass. So yeah, he needed to learn to breathe.
Yudvir says my manager. I'm guessing that's one of your members of your team, Mr.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thanks for joining in. Oh, and Talk says, evening, folks. And actually, let's bring in Talk because he wanted to join in on this conversation.
Evening, Talk.
Good evening, my guy.
How are we doing? What's happening?
Good,
Interesting
man.
Conversation. Interesting. I like it.
We'll ask you what you think. I just wanted to go back to Jem because you had some stats about how much money is pushed into the lower leagues and grassroots football from the top here.
I think there was a lot of pressure put on the FA because of COVID as well, wasn't there? There was a lot of attention on it. A lot of clubs were going bust and having to shut down. So it says that they're going to invest 180 million over the next 4 years, which sounds a lot, but how many clubs are there across the whole of England? They call it the Survive, Revive and Thrive strategy. Apparently it's going to include creating 5,000 new good quality pitches, ensuring girls have the same access as boys to football in schools and clubs. Other initiatives like an app to, I'm guessing, find it easier, like we were saying, to find a club and find the times and stuff. I know I've just started to get to grips with that as a parent myself. And then the length of 11-a-side matches to shorten them for kids to want to join in more. I think that's a bit strange. They want to play football. The length of the match makes no difference. I just question whether this is enough. And maybe not only they do that, they should be trying to help promote it and getting some initiatives out there to help kids actually join in. You know, there's kids working in a school, there's kids that parents, they could be a young carer, don't have much money. There's kids that are like free school meal kids. If they got the money to get football boots, shin pads, can they pay the weekly things? I know one of my issues is getting them to the away games. I don't drive. That is a real struggle for me. It's not like, you know, you could just hire a minibus and whack them all on, you know. But that's issues as a parent that would put me off, and did kind of for a while. I just said to them, I can't, because I don't know, I won't be able to get you to away games, and that's another issue. So it's good they're investing this money, but it would be nice to see actually what is going on. And like you said, Mr. B, you could have all the money in the world, but if you haven't got kids to spend it on, what use is that? So I think this needs to be targeted at getting the kids into it, you know, maybe playing on these channels, some of these grassroots matches, you know, let the kids see it. Give away some tickets so they can go and watch, giving transport, helping kids that don't have the money. They got free school meals. Why don't you help these kids get to matches? I know we haven't done the girls thing either, you know, but There's a
I think
sports
that
centre down the road from me, and they do a free session now every Friday for kids. They can just turn up and they can just play football for like 2 hours. My son goes every Friday. It's girls and boys, doesn't cost anything. He just goes along on his own when he's ready and joins in. I think that's a good thing that club's doing on its own. Like, it's not come from the FA or anybody higher up. They've just decided that as a sports centre.
see, the thing is, there is actually things that people are doing. I don't want to sit here and act like it's really negative that they're not doing anything.
No,
I think it's just a matter of making what they have available more visible to the parents.
yeah.
Talk. What's your take on what you've heard so far, boss?
Yeah, I mean, the grassroots system is sort of cocking it, so right. It's not, it's not like you were saying about the money side of it. It's no point in just throwing money about. You know what I mean? It's got to have a strategy. It's got to have targets. You've got to be more organised. And for me, like I said in the comments, there's far too much talent that goes to waste. Far too much. We all know. I'm sure we all know. I know at least 2 people who were more than capable of being professional football.
Yeah.
Never got the opportunity, and simply because of a financial situation. You know what I mean? So we're wasting a lot of talent. We really are. And I remember having a conversation once with my brother-in-law, and I said to him, "You know what? Because of when I was playing with the coaching side of things, I don't know if it was anyone else who's played, if it was the same for them, but it was all about. I wanted to know all about the techniques and understanding positions, etc. So I'd always work. I always stay behind. I would always stay behind and try and get that kind of knowledge. And I said, I reckon I could, with somebody else who understands the game, take a group of, or a team, right? You get your local little, like, say, under 16s or whatever. Take a team. Give me 6 weeks. Give me 6 weeks to 8 weeks with a little pot of money to concentrate on just that team, right? I would have that team, and I would gladly go against any other team at the same age group and give them a game, no problem. But you've got to have that money. You've got to have that. You've got to, because with the kids, you see, it's about. You were talking before about they've got to be focused on it. They've got to be like as focused as they are now on like the computer games, and are dedicated. It's about dedication.
Yeah, I'm quite lucky that one of my sons, he loves football. We do these shows, and he keeps saying, "I want to come on, and I'm like, "You're too young, you can't come on." But I'm lucky that he's like really into it. I would never like push them, but I would always encourage them to do it. But like Mr. B said, sometimes it's just being able to find those kids to do it, and then being of that certain quality to be able to manage.
Mr. B, muted.
Sorry. So James, sorry, you talk about quality. Sometimes and that's why I said sometimes it's social. There's teams who don't have the better players.
Yeah.
So it then becomes about the team bonding and the club bonding afterwards. So I know you made a comment about your son getting left out because the manager kept on. That part of it, I think, is wrong.
Yeah.
But I find that a lot of managers, up to a certain age, up to maybe 12 or 13, will always choose their son, regardless of ability. I think it's just maybe an inbuilt thing. I don't know. So 85% of it, that's what you see. You don't really see the son on the bench and coming on. It's always starting, maybe coming off. And then you're thinking, okay, then, like, as you said, they're trash. But I think, again, it's more the fact that...
It's not encouraging them to play better, because they'll think, it don't matter how I play. I would never
maybe
do
then,
that, because I want to make sure you need to earn your spot in the team,
Right, see, there again...
Giving them a bad attitude.
It's not always about the winning. It's not always about the winning side of it. It's about getting them to understand, because really it's, you you win, you lose. These are things that you need to get. If you can't take losing, you're going to be in life. It's going to kill you. But you have to be humble when you win. So there's ways that you can teach. I mean, I find now, as I said, I don't have that situation, but my son, he's 9. He is a football nut. YouTube, he watches Italian football, he watches Spanish football, he commentates on when he's playing FIFA. So he is obsessed. The club I got him into, Ealing and Acton Whistlers, he loves it there, but they've had a setup that has been there for ages. So this players wise, God bless him, he's 9. And you can see, there's some 9-year-olds who are never going to be footballers. but they got, no, don't laugh. They've gone out there.
I know.
They've gone out there to try and enjoy it. So I think it's ages, from maybe 6 till 10. It's not so bad. 11 till 16 is there, but it's keeping them from 16 to the 21. After 21, you're setting your routines. So you tend to keep them for 6 or 7 years until they get older, get married, get kids. And then that's a gap that you lose again. So it's just about keeping the momentum going. Sorry, Matt, I cut you off there. What was you
saying? No, it's just a good point. And I just wanted to add in there as well, a lot of the best players that you see were actually told when they were younger that they would be no good. You look at Messi, the way they had to give him the proper nutritions to be able to make him grow a bit more, because they were worried that he was going to be too small and he wasn't going to be able to make it. You get that with a lot of players, like Vardy had it as well, I believe. Chris Smalling, he come from lower league, didn't he? And they've moved up and done quite well, I think. Go on, sorry, Talk. Yeah, what was you going to
say? There's two words for me. There's two, how I call them, buzzwords. And I was just this is what I was going to talk about right now, is what you've just said. You don't have to be dazzling, full of skills and all that to make it as a great footballer. Do you know what it's about? It's about attitude and application. That's what it's about. So when you go into these football training and you go there, if you've got the ability, you can run with the ball. All right, you say, all right, he's not the best at striking the ball, for example. So what? It's not a big deal. If your attitude and application is correct, right, then you can be then molded into moving into a different position on the pitch. I don't know. There's loads of players that you could pick out who are not great footballers on the ball, but they do a great job for the team. So, it's not a lot of kids. That's what it's about. It's the attitude.
Yeah.
Then the application. If their attitude is all wrong, they ain't going to do the application. Simple as that.
I guess they got to find what their position is as well.
Yeah. Well, if their attitude is good, but then they haven't got the energy and the verve to do the application side of it, then that's where then you have to cut. That's where you go, right, listen, look, you can't keep putting in all this time with you, because obviously you're not doing it.
I want to say as well, R9 Ronaldo he started off as a goalkeeper.
Okay, there you go. Say no more.
And then he got put out for a game on a random, put out up front. Rest is history. It just coached a goalkeeper all his life, and then suddenly he was like, "Wow, actually, you're really good up front." And do you know what I mean?
I don't know about Mr. B. I wanted to ask him. I want to ask you, Mr. B. What is your coaching methods? What's your what is it that you do? How do you do it?
In all fairness, this year I've sent out a video. Normally it's more vocal. I mean, the players that I've had have been with me for a few years, so they tend to understand what I want to do. At the moment, I like 4-2-3-1. Yeah. But then in your mind, you have how you want to play. It's getting out. It's getting it out. And for me, I only see these guys on a Saturday. We talk in a week. Everybody talks on WhatsApp, but who wants to talk about football during the week? You don't. So it's more a Saturday, hoping that they understand from last week what's been done. Yeah. So it's hard. It is really, really hard. I don't have the time to be. I would love to be able to coach, as in during the week, but it wouldn't be the people that I play with on a Saturday because they're too hardies. I would rather do the 11s to 15s. I think the age where you could make a difference. You know, you could see something, or you see something in a player and you nurture it. I think that would be my ideal. But as I said, I've fallen into adult football, and I enjoy the fact that we act like adults, so we can behave like adults. You know, we don't have a 16-year-old where, oh, you can't say this or you can't say that. So that part of it, I like. The coaching part, I would love to be able to coach during the week. And I think when you see players grow, especially young players, and then they grow into something else, I think that's the beauty. But as I said, right now it's I think the next maybe 3 or 4 years, I said, I look at my club, our overheads are high, but they're not high that we can't handle. I know clubs who are charging people, I'm not going to name the club, but I know a club who are charging people £50 a month. So that's 10 months. So that's £500 for the year to play football.
Wow.
COVID's not on, but they still expected to get that money coming in. Now you see from their side, they rent a big sports centre. They've got all of the facilities, but where was that coming from? Our borough, the borough that I'm in, Brent, I'll be honest, they haven't done too bad. They've been slow, but they haven't done too bad. So things can be done. Yeah.
Mr. B, for me, right, listen, like I say, when I was playing, when I was younger and everything else, yeah, and then I remember you get kids come along all the time. People will come along all the time. You're there training. You see these new faces stood there, like talking to the people who are coaching you, and you're thinking, shit, you know what I mean? Am I gonna get like so they can't play now, and someone else is gonna come in if they're better than me or whatever? But you can't listen. The way it worked from my point of view was, you give kids an opportunity, but it has to be a specific window of opportunity.
Okay.
Give them a specific window of opportunity, right? Which makes it more like it's like, look, listen, I'm going to come to the coaching. We're going to do some coaching. Come for like 3 or 4 weeks of coaching. Then once you've done the coaching, you understand what we're trying to do with the team. I'll give you a shot. Once you've got that shot, if it's just not working out for you, and you're not, obviously, in other words, not good enough, you're just not going to be a footballer, right? Then you have to move on. The door opens up for somebody else. Now, but in order to do that, for me, in a fair way, in a way where you can actually give the kids the grounding and the right start, then it has to be like a hub. It has to be somewhere like they've got St. George's Park, or whatever it is, right, for the coaching and all the other stuff. There has to be these hubs. They're investing money. They need to invest, like you said, Jemma, you can't get to the away games, you can't get to this game, can't get to that game.
Yeah.
You know, specific areas, there has to be hubs set up, and how much is it going to cost them? If they're working with the councils, local councils, where you've got, you know, like a recreation centre, whatever, where they can actually even do it indoors because it's big enough, you know, or on the fair, you can actually do it outside on the pitches, then this is where the money needs to go. And then, like I said, it's like a conveyor belt of opportunity. Look, come along, you get your opportunity, and then if it's not working out for you, then obviously you have to move on. But then if it does work out for you, and then they show signs of talent, and then you're like, wait a minute, it's got something here, then there has to be a place to move on to. There has to be a step up. Because there's nothing worse as a kid than somebody keeps saying to you, "You're a great player. You're going to go far. You're going to do this. You're going to do that." But then every week you keep hearing it every week. As you get older, you then start hearing of your mates. Yeah, look, come down to the valley. We're going to drink some cider. We're going to smoke fags. We're going to do this, and you go, "Oh yeah, no, but I can't. 'Cause I've got to go straight. I've got to go football." Right? You go to football again. You keep hearing the same thing. And now over months and months and months, and then into like a year or two, you then start to think, wait a minute, but you keep saying that, but nothing's happening. I don't see no scouts. I don't see, and you're not telling me anyone's inquiring about me or anything like that. So, sod it. I'm going to go down the valley with my mates and smoke and drink booze, and that's what happens. So for me, there has to be, there has to be a progression. So a hub for the opportunity. If you shine in that opportunity, there's a next step up to go somewhere else. Then that's the next level. Then you move on from there. So it's like a bit of a conveyor belt, so to speak.
Yeah.
I mean, in Bristol, the scoutings aren't too bad, I think. We've got Bristol City and Bristol Rovers, and I think I've saw them in matches. I've saw them a few times. I think 3 or 4 times in like one of their little mini seasons and stuff. They would come out quite often. My friend boy, he got scouted for Bristol City. He was only 7. I think he was there a week, didn't like it. He wanted to come back. And they said, okay, well, when he's ready, he can come. But he just didn't like, I don't know, just didn't like it. Just wanted to play for his original team.
Right. So again, as a parent, if you were in that predicament where obviously if he's at Bristol, as a parent, you're thinking about getting paid. But for your son, the fact that he didn't want to give up, or sorry, the son, sorry, not your son, sorry, the son, he didn't want to give up his friends. This is where the parents probably have to say, let him go and enjoy himself. You understand? And I think that's what the thin line is, because a lot of people think pay, but sometimes it's not all of it. It's just about, as I said, my side of it is social. So it's just how
to have fun. But you also get these pushy parents, and they tell their sons that aren't quite up to that level that they're amazing, and they'll get angry at the coaches if they're not getting a start, and they'll move that kid all around different teams, and I've seen it because they believe their son's amazing and he's better than everyone else, and I find that's going to have a negative impact on that kid as well, because if he's not getting that, at some point he's going to feel heartbroken, like he's not worthy. Going back to what Talk was saying about getting kids there, even in the WhatsApp group now, you know, there's, can anybody give so-and-so a lift? I've seen this before in other teams as well. There's always parents saying, can someone take so-and-so? I can't make it. I think that is the biggest killer. Like Talk said, there's a lot of talent going to waste. I've seen it as well. I've seen my cousin and my friend, they played for Bristol City, but it was just the motivation, you know, to keep it up, keep the drive going. And then it's all these children coming up, teenagers, is having that financial help, having the backing and the motivation to keep it up. It's a combination of all different things, but I think if the financial side and the motivational side was pushed on, it would encourage them to stay on into later life as well, you know.
Yeah, I agree completely with that. And let's just hope that something does happen and people realise that we need to sort something out, don't we? Just going to read out a few more comments because there's some good comments coming up as well. Everybody, thank you for tuning in. Please get your index finger, smash the like, subscribe, share, do what you can. Thank you so much for tuning in. A Monday is a good one here from him. The government have been closing down and selling playing grounds for yonks now at grassroots level. They have been, and I'm not sure why they're doing that. Kids don't play in the streets anymore.
Not allowed.
Can I just say on that?
Where you're from, because they do in Bristol.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I mean, you saw going back as well quickly what you was talking about before about the playing time, how much you play. I'll tell you something, especially in the summertime, like when you was off school, 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, to 5 o'clock. Yeah.
Tea time, you won't fit down. I mean, I'll tell you what, my mum would have to physically hold me, sit me down in the chair and say, "You are not moving. Let your tea settle." And I'd be like, "No, but I can't." And as soon as she'd like step out of the way and turn her back, bang, I'm gone until like 9:30 at night.
Start.
Yeah, so you can't see the ball.
Yeah.
So Monday says schools footy is not as big as it used to be. And Jemma, if Matt says anything about tractors, take no notice. A little bit of banter we have between him, and because he sounds, you're not quite like that, like him.
No, because let me tell you something. Bristol City, the farmers are over in Somerset and Gloucester. You know that what was his name? That manager, and everybody's taking the mick out of the way he speaks.
Holloway.
Yeah, that's the Somerset, and that's the farmers. Right. Bristol's, we're by the docks, we're the pirates. Yeah.
Yeah, Ian Holloway does remind me.
Rovers is the pirates. That's their symbol.
Innit? Ooh-ah. Where's me scrumpy cat?
In the net, it's absolutely cracking in the net. Like,
there are parts of Bristol where that's, it's it's dark like that accent. But yeah.
Amondi School District County Club. Anthony again. Bristol is red. Bristol City.
Yeah.
What is Mr. B's coaching strategy? This is from Talk.
You already asked him that just now.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
You
well, you want to ask him again? No Talk. Just to.
So long. Hey, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you something. Even now, you put a ball at my feet and put me on a pitch, mate. You ain't getting that ball off me. You ain't getting that ball off me, sunshine. You're going to be looking and thinking, where's he gone? Where's he gone? Mate, midfield maestro. I was midfield maestro, mate. There's no way you was getting that ball off me. I would make you.
I remember in school, like begging the boys to let me play football with them, and they was like, "No, you're a girl. You're not allowed to play." And if they ever did let me play, I had to be in goal alongside the boy goalkeeper, like on the post, and that was my job. Wicked boys they were, and that was. Do you know the ground in the playground then? The real rough gravel. Like if you fell down, there was stones in your skin, and you had to go and pick them out.
I've had plenty of that, Jemma, on my hands as well.
Yeah, the school I work at now, they got AstroTurf. I'm like, you don't know about the gravel.
No, that's not proper. No, listen, playing on there's nothing like playing on the road or on the streets. I mean, the times I've like got kicked up the, you know what, by bigger lads for taking Mickey out of them, nutmegging them and doing the drag back. They've gone to kick the ball because they think I'm going to keep the ball where it is. So they go to swipe at it, and I drag it back at the last second, and then they swipe to there and end up on their ass, and then they're chasing me to kick me. Say, "Oh, you little bastard! I know who you are." And I'd have to run away a lot of the time because they're just like, wanted to beat me up. But yeah, it's not the same now, is it?
Brilliant. Let's just read out a few of these and then we'll finish up because I know Mr. B's got a very busy night tonight, haven't you, Mr. B? You're on quite a few shows.
Yeah, I'm the YouTube whore tonight, boy.
Brilliant. Mondi says all kids should play team sports. It's great for development. Being part of a team, social confidence skills improve tenfold. Completely agree. And Monday, Mr. B, the manager scout, the Arsenal for more money needs to be filtered down via FA and Premier League. Participation is key. Completely agree on that too. Matt plays left back in the changing room. How do you know I'm left back? Well done, you. Well done. Talking to you, what questions can I ask you?
Don't know. How long did it? I'll tell you what. How many step overs can you do and then turn it into a Cruyff turn? Ask me that.
My knees will be done.
He was a great linesman as well, where you talk.
No. I mean, I wasn't allowed to play football, so I play netball instead.
Yeah,
at least you got that aggression out.
Yeah, I was goal attack as well. I was good at it.
Is that the one is that the striker? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, there's goal shoot and goal attack, so attack's kind of like on the wing a little bit. Yeah.
Glory position, yeah.
I was aggressive.
Yeah.
The shooter is the striker. I was more of a money.
It's not ice hockey. All right, okay.
Hey, girls, netball used to get rough sometimes,
Yeah, scratching and all that, and
like the elbows,
hair pulling.
No, I don't do hair.
Bit of the old Peter Crouch.
That bit of your thigh, and it gives you a dead leg. Like dead
legs. I've had plenty of them. Plenty of them as a kid.
Yeah, netball.
You get a dead arm. My brothers used to do that to me. Give me dead arms. He goes, "You want a dead arm?" I go, "What's that?" And they go, "Yeah, I'll show you." And then go, "Wow!" Bang. And your arm's dead. You couldn't move it. It's just like left flopping at the side, and you're like, "Oh, I'm going to tell me dad." And then they're begging you not to tell me that because my dad would have murdered them.
Right, everybody, we'll finish it off there. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. Great show. Please smash like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much. So we'll shout out your social medias. Let everyone know where they can find you. Let's start off with Jem first. Thank you so much for joining us today, Jem, on late notice as well. Means a lot.
So I do Cop Talk on FTB Sports. We're on every week, Thursday at 9:30. You can find us on Twitter, FTB Football. Yeah, come check us out, FTB Sports YouTube. We do pre-match and after-match shows and stuff as well. So yeah.
Brilliant. Thanks for coming on, Jem.
No problem.
Talk, where can we find you, bro? Apart from everywhere.
In my tractor, going up and down my field, like getting out the spuds and carrots and parsnips and all that kind of stuff.
Don't start with me, because don't start with me.
All right, mate, calm down. I won't have a laugh. Like, I tell you what, fan, the fan that it's on the show, he was on the shippy. Right, oh yeah, that's like, getting a kebab at the pizza shop. Yeah, come on, no, it's fun.
I've heard it all before.
Find me on Twitter at iTalkingYou on this channel, so make sure you subscribe to this.
Find him on the end of my foot in a minute.
I'll probably fit as well. I'm only small. On the Man United agenda, Rich Sports, Dugout Daily, all over the shop.
Cheers, Tom. Thanks for coming by. And last but not least, my co-host, Mr. B from the Man United Agenda.
Yeah, that's where you can find me. Man United Agenda every day, especially this week. We're going to be putting the shows out. We will be really putting the shows out this week. Also, you might know a footballer in North Wembley area. Get them to DM Old Manorians Football Club. That's what I'm here for. I'm on the recruitment drive and it starts here. Thank you.
Brilliant. Everybody, thank you so much for tuning in today. Do smash like, share, subscribe. Go check out everybody's content. And we'll be back tomorrow for Football United Airways, I believe, and some special Spanish vlogs where I shall be talking from Madrid and Sevilla next week. So
Valencia. Yeah, it's gonna be nice.
I'm hoping to go and see Sevilla versus Valencia in Sevilla, a week on Wednesday in La Liga. So let's hope that does happen. Hard to get a ticket for that one, but I'm pretty sure I can get it. Yes, until tomorrow. Take care, everybody.
Thank you for having me on.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you as always, man. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Means a lot. Honestly, it does. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.